In regards to the naming convention of the bear, the Latin name for a bear, which I have in front of me now on Wikipedia, which is Ursus arctos horribilis. Ursus means bear. Arctos also means bear. So the Latin name of bear, the Latin name literally translates to bear, bear, horrible. So faraway Lucas and lovely audience at home, same question. What is your favourite feat of archery-based prowess from a video game, movie, TV show, etc.?
I think it has to be that moment from The Dark Knight Returns where just Green Arrow with one arm takes out Superman with a kryptonite arrow.
Oh man, like he pulls like the bow with his teeth, right?
Now!
I think for me it's just got to be the USB shot from Avengers.
Oh, that's so dumb.
Like, wouldn't it be great though if you did it in like the USB went in the wrong way around?
It's like, I like the fact that they came up with a unique connection so that no matter what way the arrow landed, it wouldn't look stupid because there's like no right way up.
All you think when you're watching that is like, if he fucks that shot up and it just like destroyed the PC.
No, Hawkeye doesn't miss.
I still think though, like watching that scene just retroactively ruins Black Widow. I think we've joked before about Black Widow being a fucking terrible movie, because throughout all the Avengers movies, whenever you see like Clint and Natasha talking to each other, they talk about, oh, remember what happened? Is it Bulgaria?
Is it Budapest?
Budapest, right? They talk about
Budapest,
what happened in Budapest, and they speak about it in like reverential terms, like this legendary mission that only the Black Widow and the Hawkeye could have accomplished, and that it bonded them together as like a team forever. And it turns out all they did is put a hand grenade in a child's backpack.
Dreykov's daughter was collateral damage. All clear.
And it is unintentionally so fucking funny that throughout that movie, they build up the Black Widows as these like legendary assassins who can get anywhere on Earth. Like, if you want someone dead, you send a Black Widow, that person will be dead. And they talk about this like crime boss who's been locked inside of a bulletproof, impenetrable like skyscraper for like years and no one can get to him. And in the movie you have Hawkeye, who in a previous movie but canonically later in the series managed to shoot an arrow onto a moving shield helicarrier from a mile away. And I was thinking, well, surely this is where Hawkeye is going to demonstrate how he learned that, right? He's going to shoot an arrow through an air vent or something and bring down the defense, and then the Black Widow will sneak in. So no, they put a hand grenade in a child's backpack and blow it up. It's like, all I can think is Nick Fury going, we could have done that. It's like, we got the Black Widow to do it because the Black Widow is supposed to be an assassin. You are a scalpel. Our methods are the sledgehammer. If all you were going to do is just blow the guy up, we could have done that. And it retroactively ruins the Black Widow's characterization, because when she talks about, I've got a lot of red on my ledger, do you think, well, she probably killed some people who maybe didn't deserve it, or maybe she feels bad about the method she employed? It's like, no, she put a grenade in a child's like school backpack and just killed a kid.
Dreykov's daughter was collateral damage.
She didn't kill the kid, they became like Taskmaster.
She thought she killed the kid.
But I just remember thinking, like, is that the best they could come up with as justification for, like, that's the mission? That's the legendary Budapest mission that brought you two together? That's the best a Black Widow could come up with for taking out a guy in a impenetrable skyscraper?
It's not the best that a Black Widow could come up with, Karl. It's the best that a writer could do in a writer's room.
And I don't know if specifically they just put a hand grenade in the child's backpack, but just, I remember they do something like they blow up the kid as like a human bomb, and Black Widow feels bad about it. It's like, yeah, you fucking should.
Obviously, it mustn't be literally a hand grenade, but it must be like C4 or something that can detonate remotely, but not great as a plan. Just put an explosive in a kid's backpack, day's done.
It is quite literally a joke from The Simpsons, where they hire the assassin to kill Grandpa. And the assassin is sat there planning out the assassination. Is like, we can do this, but it will require all the intricacies of a well-played game of chess. And he boots the front door down and shoots everyone with a machine gun.
There is one more way to kill a man, but it is as intricate and precise as a well-played game of chess.
It's like that. They did that seriously for this movie. Anyway, let's talk about Lu Bu. Within the annals of Chinese military history, the name Lu Bu is one treated with reverence and respect. And are you familiar with Lu Bu? You probably know from like Dynasty Warriors, right? Of do not pursue him.
I was going to say, all I know is that Lu Bu in Dynasty Warriors is a badass.
You know he's a badass, and you know you do not pursue Lu Bu, because his penis is too big.
Look at that! It's Lu Bu!
Like, his stats are too high, his smoke's too tough, his swag's too strong. Like, dude's just, like, fucking unstoppable. And he's responsible for numerous feats that are literally the stuff of legend today. To the point where what is fact, what is fiction is basically impossible to discern. And that's why, like, games like the Dynasty Warriors games just have him as, like, a 9-foot-tall dude who can wipe out an entire battlefield worth of soldiers with a single swing.
Yeah, if people are unfamiliar with Dynasty Warriors or Dynasty Warriors, however you want to pronounce it, this is a game where it's just, oh yeah, Lu Bu can take down thousands of soldiers all by himself. Sure.
Yeah. What's your favourite, like, Dynasty Warriors crossover? Because the Gundam one, I've heard that was pretty fun.
Back off!
The Gundam one seems cool, but obviously, as a Zelda fanatic, I have to go with the Hyrule Warriors series.
The Hyrule Warriors one, right? That's pretty fun. And I've always liked the idea of a game like that where the hero character is worth, like, literally hundreds, if not thousands, of another kind of soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as you mentioned, like, Lu Bu in Dynasty Warriors can take out an entire army on his own. In, like, RTSs, you only need, like, a hero unit, and your hero unit can take out, like, an entire battlefield on their own.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like the Lord of the Rings RTSs, where if you get Sauron, and Sauron's with one swing of his mace takes out, like, 40 orcs.
Which is what should happen.
It's what should happen, right? Or like in like Halo, like Master Chief, right? Of like, okay, send Master Chief into a battlefield with like an entire alien army. Oh, alien army's dead.
But when it comes to Dynasty Warriors, it's meant to be based on potentially real, if not
Partially
definitely
real
real
history,
human
yeah.
beings. Yeah. Like, people that definitely existed, but maybe not the feats that they do in the game existed.
There's a really popular meme about it of like trying to write a ridiculous fictional story and then actual real Chinese history strolls in. And Lu Bu is an iconic and celebrated element of that Chinese history. But perhaps one of his most famous feats is where he stopped a battle before it even began with a single arrow.
So, question, was he firing the arrow? Was the arrow being fired at him?
So he fired the arrow, and we should clarify that this is history. It's Chinese history. It's from many years ago. It's been subject to a lot of embellishment over the years. It probably didn't go down exactly as I'm about to describe. And in fact, there are multiple versions of a story, and I'll share the two most popular as we get through the video. So I should clarify that first, but it's an interesting story nonetheless. Before we get to the nitty gritty, Lucas, do you have any like favourite like folk tales or legends from history? Because there's a couple in the UK, right? It's like there's King Harold and his eye, like King Harold getting hit in the eye during one of the battles, and that just like like the king rode onto the battlefield himself and died in 1 second by just getting hit right in the eye.
That's called the Sir Daniel Fortescue card.
Which is referenced in a video game.
English, like, folk tales and potential history, my favourite just kind of has to be Robin Hood. Because I love the idea of just some guy running around and stealing all the money from rich people. Like, fuck you.
I challenge you to a duel.
Again, we know Robin Hood isn't real, it's based on like an old folk tale, but it's an interesting aspect of pseudo-British history nonetheless.
I accept.
That's the thing, it's folk tale territory, whereas, for example, we know someone like Lubu existed.
We just don't know if he existed in the form stories would suggest. Like a similar character from like British history, or Scottish history I should clarify, would be William Wallace. We know for a fact William Wallace, the legendary hero, Braveheart, did exist, just there's a lot of legend about what he got up to. Like, for example, like according to like some versions of the legend, he was like 8 feet tall and wielded a claymore as big as he was.
Oh, but I do like to think that you should watch this video, just bearing in mind that whatever Karl is about to say was definitely 100% true.
Lubu among men, red hair among horses. That's him. Let's get out of here. There's no way we will.
It's funnier if you think of it as true, right? Mm-hmm. So the story goes that Lubu's legendary act of archery-based badassery occurred when two of his generals called, and I have it here, Jiling and Liu Bei were talking mad shit about one another on the battlefield. And things very nearly came to blows, and when it's two generals who are going to get into a fist fight, you know their armies getting involved as well. And the story goes that Lubu saw this and realised, hey, I can't have my generals fighting each other, that means I've got less dudes to fight for me. So he strolled over and proposed a rather novel solution to their argument, an arrow.
I'm curious as to where this is going, because how could one arrow stop a fight between two of them?
So what Lubu did is he commanded one of his men to walk several hundred feet away and put into the ground a ji, which is like kind of pole arm, think like, stick with knife on it.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever seen those breakdowns? Well, we've talked about this in the past on Wiki Weekends, second channel we run, we talked about Warhammer. And the weapon, not the series. And just the idea that a lot of people, when you think of history, and like if you ask people like, what is the weapon that was historically wielded by soldiers on the battlefield, everyone thinks a sword. And the answer is no, it wasn't, because swords were a huge waste of resources if you look at it logistically. It was much better to get a piece of wood and then put a small sword on the end of it.
See, the spear is a bizarrely neglected weapon in the worlds of historical European martial arts, or HEMA. It was the most common weapon in the past, the whole of the past, from Stone Age hunter-gatherers right the way up to the 20th century. Everyone used the spear.
So the spear is the weapon that was wielded by most soldiers throughout history, because it is just an extension of the earliest weapons man created, which was stick, and then sharpened stick, and then slightly sharper stick with something on the end of it.
Yeah, and I should say, it makes way more sense in terms of just logistically. If we put a small knife on the end of a big thing, it's a lot less metal that we have to use per weapon.
Yeah, like the resources you could use to make like one sword, you could use to make like 15 spears. Mm-hmm. Or 100 arrows. Which if you think about it, is just a smaller pointy stick.
You just fire from some, that you just have to fire from what, like wooden rope.
It's weird to think about like weaponry in that sense, right? Of the two earliest weapons man probably wielded were a stick and a rock, and basically all weapons to this day are just some variation of that concept of stick or rock.
Stick and or rock.
Yeah, it's just the rocks are a lot bigger and go a lot faster.
Which is why I do appreciate Meteor hammers. Of like, we don't need stick, we've got rope.
Got rope. Oh, go on, what's your favourite like historical weapon and that you just know is complete bullshit?
Well, it's not bullshit, but I do love Meteor hammers. Like I
imagine in the right hands, presumably the hands of a Shaolin monk, that thing is dangerous as fuck, but I still don't think it's as dangerous as a really, really long stick.
In theory, it's way more dangerous than a really long stick, because it's even longer than a really long stick.
Well, I think that was the idea behind like a spear. Like you didn't really need to train someone to use it, of just fucking jab at the guy.
Yeah.
Right? Just, you don't need to train a dude, like, in swordsmanship. Just give him a fucking jab at the dude. Just hit him with it.
Yeah, it matters when it's a one-on-one fight, but when you're talking thousands of people against one another in just a mess of a battlefield, just someone pointing a sharp stick at someone else, pretty effective.
Like, you don't need to teach someone how to do that, right? Just get him. Get with a stick. I think for me, it's nunchucks. And I actually have a set of nunchucks behind me. Give me a sec. What?
Which, yes, we know are like farming equipment, but...
So I've got a pair of nunchucks here that I got from China, and the reason I got these specifically is because on the bottom, you can't see it on camera, but they say made in China on the bottom. So I specifically, when I was over in China, said I want something that says made in China. It's got nunchucks. And I got them like yellow, so they look like Bruce Lee. And I'm not going to swing around like a dickhead now because I'll knock my camera over, but I do on occasion when I need to do wrist exercises. If I don't want to get out like my weights, I'll just do like half an hour of just like nunchuck warm-ups.
Why not?
Do you know what? You've got to learn how to manipulate your shaft. Let's fucking go. So bring it back to Lu Bu. They set up that Xi, like a couple hundred feet away, and he proposed to his two generals, and he said, will you stop fighting if I can shoot one arrow and hit that weapon on its point?
俺が今からあれを弓で射る。当たったならば兵を引け。外れたならば好きにするがいい。
Okay, that's fair enough. Just, if I am a badass enough, shut up and just work for me.
Yeah. And both men were reportedly so incredulous that such a feat was even possible, they stopped just to watch. Which, if you think about it, is actually an ingenious strategy to stop like hostilities, right? Of just do something so weird, people stop what they're doing just to wonder what the fuck it is you're doing.
何？なぜ止まる？
Yeah, exactly.
And there's countless examples of that from actual military history, from actual Chinese military history. I forget the name of the general now, but it was a famous dude who was known for being especially tricky. And he invented what is known as the empty fort strategy. And the story goes that there was a big army coming to like kick their asses, and they had like 50 dudes. And they asked this general, whose name will be on screen somewhere right now, like, what do? We can't fight an entire army with 50 dudes. So the guy just said, open the gates. So what? No, open the gates. And he sat in front and he played like a pan flute. And the enemy general, who was aware of this guy's reputation as being very tricky, assumed that it had to be a trap. Because there's no way anyone would be stupid enough to sit there with the gates open, inviting the enemy inside. And as a result, that general just went on his way and didn't invade.
诸葛向来用兵谨慎，不曾弄险。如今城门大开，不见兵将，城中必有埋伏。再者，诸葛亮琴声诱寒杀机，我兵若进城，必中其心。
And it's like, it's a bold tactic, but...
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
And if anyone's ever read Art of War, that's primarily what the book is about. Save for all the stuff about, like, managing resources and actually feeding your soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I read Art of War once. Jokes like, you always hear, like, dickish businessmen talk about how it gives you, like, these strategies for business. It's, like, 50 pages long, and it's just the most basic advice ever. And then you research it and find out that, like, Art of War was written for, like, just emperors' sons who were fucking useless and knew nothing about how actual warfare and the logistics of, like, engaging in warfare actually worked. And that's why, like, a lot of the advice seems really basic. Like, hey, you should feed your soldiers. Also, you need to set aside, like, room for horses and supplies. Because if you don't have supplies, you can't fight. Like, there's even an entire section of Art of War about fire, which includes such tidbits as people don't like being on fire. You should probably take advantage of that. And the idea that people unironically say that book helps them in business means that they've not read it. Because if they read it, they'd realise it's 50 pages of obvious platitudes that can be roughly applied to warfare or general life. Like, it's common sense, essentially. Like, Lucas, people don't like being on fire. You should probably take advantage of that. Soldiers need to eat. You should feed your soldiers.
Make sure that your staff are, like, fed and given water to survive.
Horses like not being on fire. You should avoid having your horses set on fire. Avoid being downwind of fire.
Yeah, it's a pretty good, mantra in just real life, right? Just
but then
anywhere.
there are the other more, like, abstract concepts that are useful, but only if you're intelligent enough to make use of them anyway. For example, like, act strong when you're at your weakest and act weak when you're at your strongest. Like, it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to take advantage of it as a concept, as that aforementioned general did.
No, to apply that in a business strategy, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's one thing to say it as like an empty platitude, it's another thing to like apply it. And it requires like actual intelligence to do so. But we move back to Lubu now, Lucas, and what do you think he did when he knocked that arrow? Do you think he nailed it?
Well, yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be much of a Fat Fiend video, I imagine.
Well, he could be, he fucking spooned it, right? Well, no, he got the arrow exactly on like the edge of the G, and it split in half. And his two generals who swore on their honour to cease hostilities if he managed to pull it off, both stopped arguing, slapped him on the back, congratulated him on having a huge arrow penis, and then got drunk in celebration.
It would be incredible for at one point you to just make a video about how someone just missed a shot.
Just absolutely fucking spooned it, right? Like, so, it happens so rarely, but when it does, it's always hilarious. Like, every now and again, like, you'll watch the World Cup and you'll just see someone who talks the biggest fucking game, just spoon it, and it'll fly off into, like, the audience, right? Like, well, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, where he's like talking mad shit about how he's going to kick the shit out of Anthony Joshua.
Falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, falling down.
What? And Anthony Joshua just like punched him in the face for 15 minutes and broke his jaw.
His chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
Yeah, he just played with him for like 5 rounds and then just broke him.
And it's always satisfying to see that.
Oh, God, it's so funny.
It's more so it's funnier because the guy talks such a mad game.
Almost a ball. There's a left hook. Down.
That is specifically the Jake Paul bit of just... he talks the maddest amount of shit going, well, clearly Anthony Joshua's going to stick to his, like, definitely not real contract about... letting it go to like 9 rounds or whatever, and Anthony Joshua just it's not worth it. It's not worth the money.
It's not. This guy's too fucking annoying.
His chin served on a platter for that right hand right there.
So imagine being so stupid that you see a heavyweight boxer lining up a shot on your jaw and you open your mouth. Like, Joe, speaking of like obvious advice, right? That just common sense of don't open your mouth when a heavyweight's about to sock you on the fucking chin.
Carl, he was acting weak in his strongest moment.
I would not be surprised if in the aftermath Jake Paul talked mad shit about how he actually super could have won if he didn't lose.
His chin served on a platter for that right hand right there.
Right, but it's worth mentioning that this isn't the only version of this story that exists. So another version posits that Lubu didn't shoot the edge of a G and split the arrow in half, but instead pointed to a small gap several hundred feet away and bet they could shoot an arrow through it.
Well, I was just thinking that it sounds similar to like the Odysseus arrow trick, right?
Yeah,
like shooting
like the crossed
the axes or whatever.
Axes.
Yeah, that's what immediately comes to my brain when I think of like potentially embellished stories from history and stuff and legend.
So they're going to put that in like the Nolan movie. The only thing I care about from the Odyssey is when like Odysseus comes back, like no one recognises him except for his dog. And his dog like looks up, sees that his master's returned, wags its tail once and dies. So you need to put that in because that's gonna tug at the heartstrings. I think it's Odysseus that happens to. It's been a while since I read the Odyssey. I've got a copy of it like by my bed that I've not read yet because I'm reading like a manga. It's going to be a weird like jump, isn't it? Going from like this fucking manga to the Odyssey. And one of the weirder things about the Odyssey is the reason I read it all those years ago is because I saw like a discussion from a linguist who talked about the fact that the word blue didn't exist.
Oh.
Like, blue was not a word that existed thousands of years ago because it wasn't something that readily existed in nature. So there wasn't a word for it. As a result, if you read through translations of the Odyssey, they describe the sky as looking like wine and the sea as being like wine. Because they don't describe its colour. They describe its nature, how it moves, how it looks. And I just found that fascinating that they didn't have a word for blue, so the sea is not described as looking blue, it's described as looking like wine. So like wine sloshing around in a glass. That's how they describe the sea. Because there was no word to describe what it looked like colour-wise, so they had to describe how it moved, how it acted, how it responded to the ocean. And I just found that fascinating.
I vaguely remember hearing as well that they often used to describe the sea and the sky as colours of green and shades of green, because, again, they didn't have the use of the word blue yet. And I love stuff like that, like the fact that apparently the colour orange comes from the fruit, not vice versa.
Yep, we got the orange, the t-shirt I'm wearing, this colour. It was the fruit that was named first, and then they named the colour after it. The Arctic and Antarctica just means bear and no bears. Because the Arctic has bears and Antarctica has no bears. Or the word bear. Do you know the word bear? The word bear is actually the stand-in word different cultures came up with. That's because bears were so dangerous, they didn't want to say their real name, because saying their real name might summon them. So they came up with a stand-in word for bear, and we don't know what that other word was.
The bears that must not be named.
In regards to the naming convention of the bear, the Latin name for a bear, which I have in front of me now on Wikipedia, which is Ursus arctos horribilis. Ursus means bear. Arctos also means bear. So the Latin name of bear, the Latin name literally translates to bear, bear, horrible. because they both mean bear. So it's just bear, bear, horrible.
Which is a good way to describe them.
Well, hello there, ho diddly o me. Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to hand over that picture.
Gee, homie, it's not very nice to maul Ranger Ned.
You want some of this?
And that reminds me a little bit of the Latin name for gorilla. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't think so.
Gorilla. Do you want to hazard a guess at what the Latin name for a Western gorilla is?
I don't know.
Gorilla. How about the name of the Western lowland gorilla?
Is it gorilla?
It is gorilla. What do you think's better, Lucas? Gorilla, or bear, bear, horrible?
I think bear, bear,
bear,
horrible.
Bear, horrible's fucking fantastic, right? Or horrible bear, bear.
I like the distinction that they found a bear and then they just found a nastier bear, and it's like, no, horrible bear.
Horrible bear, yeah. Horrible bear, bear. And isn't language fun, folks? As is science, as is history. We hope to cover more in the future, but yeah, let us know your favourite archery moment or linguistic or language quirk. Because there's a bunch of those, isn't there?
There is indeed.
Just bear, bear, horrible.